Participants this evening are representing the Academy, the School of Professional Wrestling. Introducing first, standing to my left, weighing in today at 200 pounds from West St. Paul, Minnesota, ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Morales! And his opponent this evening, weighing in today at 235 pounds from Great. Ladies and gentlemen, his opponent, weighing in today at 235 3/4 pounds from Green Bay, Wisconsin. Ladies and gentlemen.
Since I was a little kid, I'm cheering for the Vikings right now.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, apparently nobody interrupts Mr. Anderson's self-promo, self-introduction. Jimmy Morales made a huge mistake. Matt Berdahl's crapped his pants. No way to kick things off here.
It's good to see Berdahl crap his pants.
Oh, Jimmy Morales, a student of the Academy of Professional Wrestling. He is the student of the man in the ring opposing him tonight. His mentor, his teacher, the one and only Mr. Ken Anderson. And Golden Idol, God, knife edge chop. You are very, very familiar with Ken Anderson. What a resume this man has in professional wrestling, not the least of which is that he's an SDW original. Golden Idol, ladies and gentlemen, is apparently taking selfies over here. He's signing autographs. He's doing everything else.
No, this thing doesn't. It's not working. I'm trying to get this thing on the whole gimmick.
Why don't
here.
you know what? You're never prepared. You're never prepared.
What are you talking about? I'm prepared. Look at there I am right there.
Oh, what a shot.
There I am.
Slap right across the face.
See me?
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. We got a wrestling
How
match.
do you turn this gimmick around?
That's what I've been
All
asking
right,
about my
look it.
career for years. Wait a minute now. Ken Anderson.
You got Ken Anderson in the ring. I mean, this is unbelievable.
Oh, wait a minute.
WWE TNA superstar right here at Steel Domain Wrestling.
As I said, perhaps most important of all, he cut his teeth right here in SDW. Oh, what a clothesline by Anderson. I tell you what, when this guy hits you, it's no nonsense. There's no light touch about Ken Anderson.
You know something? Again, let me tell you, Mick, it goes to the testament of what Steel Domain Wrestling has done, what we're doing for pro wrestling in the state of Minnesota, getting a guy like this, him and Sean Devari, the owners of the Pro Wrestling Academy, and another young man that they've brought out of the academy. It's unbelievable.
Well, I've known Ken Anderson for a long time, for 20 years, and there are very few wrestlers in this business that are as charismatic as Ken Anderson. He has been a mainstay, a main eventer, everywhere he has appeared. And the fact that Steel Domain can call him an alumnus, a member of our roster, that's really a feather in our cap.
Well, you know, and again, with our alliance with the Pro Wrestling Academy now, with the purchase of Primetime Wrestling, I'm telling you, Mick, we are going to be doing some great things in the Twin Cities, and our fans just need to stay tuned.
You know, Idol, I've said many times, Steel Domain Wrestling is the standard bearer. There's no question about it. There's Steel Domain, and then there's everybody else in my estimation. With the acquisition of Primetime Wrestling, going to a new venue, working with the Academy of Professional Wrestling, things are bigger and better than ever. The sky's the limit.
You know, and again, like you said, the sky is the limit. But let me tell you something. This is a heck of a match tonight. Morales is doing some job. This is a student of the Pro Wrestling Academy, and he's really putting it to his trainer, Ken Anderson.
You know what's interesting about it? Brandon Gore, who appeared in the ring with Ken Anderson last time out here at Steel Domain Wrestling, a blue chipper, absolutely a tremendous athlete. And it just shows you what's churning out of the Professional Wrestling Academy. And what better opponent for Jimmy Morales than the guy who has shown him the ins and outs of professional wrestling for the past several months?
You know, you're absolutely right. I mean, it just doesn't get any better than this. And again, we're pretty lucky to be having him in the building tonight.
No question about it. Oh, Morales tried for a shoulder tackle, didn't even move. Ken Anderson counted to no.
You know, when you can bring in people, I mean, we've had Sean Devari working with us. We've had Ken Anderson working with us.
Oh, a modified stunner on the part of Jimmy Morales. Are you kidding me? What an upset that would have been.
That would have been some upset.
The student taking the teacher to school.
Absolutely.
Wow.
But you know, like I was saying, it just shows what pro wrestling is all about right here in the Twin Cities. I mean, the legends that have come out of this area, it's unbelievable.
Minnesota and the Twin Cities has always, and I mean going back to the 1950s, earlier than that, been an absolute mecca for the greatest wrestling talent on the planet. I'm not just talking the state of Minnesota or the United States. The list is endless. While we're talking about that, I want to take just a second to acknowledge one of the old-time, I shouldn't even say old-time, one of the great veterans in professional wrestling, also from the state of Minnesota, who passed away recently, our friend Tom Zank,
Absolutely.
the Z-Man. Terrific talent. Had the opportunity to work with Tom many, many times. Just a sad day, 59 years old, way too young to leave us. And condolences to the family and friends of Tom Zank.
You know, I didn't have a lot of opportunity to work with Tom, though I did do a couple of shows with him, and he was always a pleasure to be around. And he was certainly a professional, and he certainly did a great job in professional wrestling. Very, very, very sad when we lose somebody that young.
No doubt about it. And, you know, you talk about the other wrestlers that have come down the pike, including Mr. Anderson. from the state of Minnesota, where you're talking about the Gagnes, the Hennigs, Ravishing Rick Rude, the Road Warriors, Barry Darso. The list is endless. I mean, it's a who's who of wrestling.
What do you do? It's like you're jumping out of the chair here looking around. What are you, constipated?
I saw the architect, Ed Hillier, moving towards me. And he had a pink
Don't
slip
talk
with
about my...
He had a pink slip with him. I got a little nervous.
Listen, you're staying on board.
Wow.
I'm not going to let anything happen to you. Let's talk about Ken Anderson and what's happening here in the ring.
Oh, what a shot right to the side of the head of Jimmy Morales. Now the two are trading punches. Boy, would the student love to put the smackdown on his mentor, oh, shot right to the top of the head. 3 shots, and there's that knee. That knee to the rib cage by Jimmy Morales. Oh, a clothesline from hell. Look at Ken Anderson. This guy gets better with age. That swinging neck breaker.
You know, Ken Anderson is really giving the student a heck of a lesson here. Oh, no, look it. Wait a minute.
Oh. Anderson, he's got him hoisted up here.
There
Look
we go.
out.
Oh, my
that
goodness.
rolling senton. In for the cover.
That's
Count
it.
of 1, 2. Wait a minute.
Wow.
Are you serious?
I can't believe that Jimmy Morales kicked out of that. This young man is really, this is something. How would you kick out of something like that when you got a guy like Ken Anderson putting a move on you like that?
Intestinal fortitude, stamina. I mean, the will to impress your teacher, your mentor, any number of things. He wants to make a mark in professional wrestling. And what better way to do it? There's a double thrust to the throat. Oh, my God. That's an RKO. I won't believe it till it. Oh. My word.
But, you know, this goes to show what the trainers have done with these young people.
Wait a minute.
Really,
I don't know
God.
how smart this is, Morales. Oh, God. Oh, man. He landed on that upper back and the neck. It's all over. Looks like a mic shot here. Oh, that's it. Forget about it. Forget it. Kenny Anderson.
Wow. That's some match, Mick. Hey. You can't beat a guy like Ken Anderson.
Ken Anderson never fails to bring his A game. Whatever arena he appears in professional wrestling, you know you're going to get your money's worth and then some. But we got to give it to Jimmy Morales. What a tremendous showing against the guy the caliber of Ken Anderson.
You know, Jimmy Morales did a great job. And again, it goes back to the training. What these guys are teaching these young men, the conditioning that they're having them go through to be able to get in the ring and stay with him in a match like that.
Tremendous matchup, ladies and gentlemen. Still to come, three championship matches in Steel Domain Wrestling.
You know, tonight,
right now,
my man Tommy Lee is taking the title away from that big goofball Mitch Paradise.
That remains to be seen.
The Academy is the Midwest's premier facility for professional wrestler, referee, manager, or valet training.
We train both men and women and employ a staff of some of the most knowledgeable and experienced wrestling coaches in the industry, including former and current WWE and TNA Impact Wrestling superstars like Mr. Anderson, Sean Davari, Molly Holly, and First Wrestling's own Eric Cannon, and WrestlePalooza champion Aria Davari.
The Academy regularly brings in guest trainers from all over the world to conduct seminars, helping our students, as well as established wrestlers, gain a diverse education in various styles of wrestling. Athletic ability and physique are equally important in professional wrestling. Ken, Sean, and Aria are all certified personal trainers and can create workout programs for students, as well as established wrestlers, to help them achieve their health and fitness goals. All members of our staff have an extensive network of industry contacts to help our students. This includes independent and international promotions, as well as officials with the WWE, TNA Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, Lucha Underground, and more. to start your journey. Visit www.theacademyprowrestling.com or call 507-722-2776. The Academy, School of Professional Wrestling, creating tomorrow's superstars today.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing first, standing to my right, from Eau Claire, Wisconsin, ladies and gentlemen, Sweet Sierra! Introducing the champion to my left, from Green Bay, Wisconsin, accompanied by the Golden Idol, representing the Temple of Terror, ladies and gentlemen, your Steel Domain Wrestling Women's Champion, the baddest bitch in wrestling, Stacy Shadows.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. The second of 3 championship matchups here tonight in Steel Domain Wrestling. Very interesting backstory here, as I'm joined at ringside once again by the illustrious Ken Resnick. Ken, the Sweet Sierra, a great young talent in this business. She's gone down the highways and the byways against Stacy Shadows over the last couple of years in professional wrestling. Shadows, of course, won the championship, which was up for grabs here in Steel Domain. The women's championship had been vacated. Stacy Shadows and Malaya Hosaka went one-on-one in a Falls Count Anywhere matchup a few months ago. Lo and behold, who sticks his nose in the match, throws powder in the eyes of Malaya Hosaka, none other than the Golden Idol, who announced that Stacy Shadows is the newest recruit and the first ever female component of the Temple.
I remember that night, Mick. I was here for that match with Malaya Hosaka and Stacy Shadows. And right off the bat, now earlier we saw a very controversial decision involving this referee and a member of the Temple of Terror. We know the history, the camaraderie between Ed Hellier and the Golden Idol.
Oh, boy.
So I have got to wonder why senior referee Jay Soltis is not calling this championship match in the ring.
Wow. Well, I tell you what, I'm not Jesse Ventura, as far as conspiracy theories, but, you may be onto something very interesting indeed. And look at Sierra. She caught her with a crossbody early on, and now she's really taking the attack. Look at those shots. Those forearms to the jaw of the champion, Stacy Shadows.
And
man.
Mick, you brought it up. Sierra has gained so much confidence in these past few years. I don't think 2 years ago she would have had the confidence to go after and attack a champion like Stacy Shadows as we're seeing right now.
Absolutely, you are so correct, Ken. This could be it. Count of two. Stacy Shadows, the champion, looks completely discombobulated here. She never expected this kind of an offense early on from Sweet Sierra. And I tell you what, you know as well as I do, Ken, you take somebody lightly in this business, you could be looking at the lights. Wait a minute now.
Well, now we're seeing the strength and power.
Oh, man.
The strength and power of Shadows. But what I really like from Sweet Sierra, she kept the attack going. She didn't pause. She didn't stop to admire her work as we see so many wrestlers do today. She kept right at it, but now we're seeing the size, the power, the advantage that in any sport an opponent has, as does Stacy Shadows.
I don't know how you can ever bet against Stacy Shadows. And you know what's interesting? As smart-mouthed as he is and as arrogant as he is, I've been watching the interaction with the Golden Idol and Stacy Shadows all night. He is terrified of Stacy Shadows, his own recruit.
I can't say I blame him.
No. How'd you like to take her to prom? Can you imagine that?
I think I might come down with the 24-hour flu that night.
Oh, man.
But, we could say...
Hi, Mom. This is Stacy.
We could say what we want about the tactics of the Golden Idol. He's a very intelligent man, and he's probably well served to be a little afraid of Stacy Shadows.
Well, it was Stacy who, the very first night told the Golden Idol, the minute you screw me, you're going to have your nuts with your morning coffee. And from that point on, the Golden Idol has systematically been Mr. Nice Guy, the perfect gentleman.
And there is no way I want any further part of that conversation.
No, I get it. Trust me. Look at this now. That ponderous weight of Stacy Shadows working right on the throat. That big boot into the throat of Sweet Sierra. I mentioned that these two have had several matches over the past couple of years, but to my knowledge, Ken, none have had the championship at stake. This is a whole new ball game tonight.
Well, and you're right, and I've got to give Sweet Sierra a lot of credit. She's not intimidated by that, at least not outwardly, and I think that, again, speaks, as you said, the confidence and experience she's gained these last couple of years. But, again, a championship stage is like no other.
Well, no question about it. Oh, God! It's almost like you got a compact bus or compact car in there against a full-size Greyhound bus. And I don't mean it in a derogatory way to Stacy Shadows. She is so big and so powerful. Testimony to her, the night that she won the championship, she did so with a debilitating knee injury earlier in the matchup. And she stayed in it and fought to the very end. Of course, the Idol's interference played a role in her winning the title, but nonetheless, this is a tough gal.
There's no question, and as we both know, Malia Hosaka a bit under the weather. She can't wait to get back here, demands and deserves a rematch with Stacy Shadows, and what a match that would be, assuming Shadows is able to retain the title tonight.
That's another good point. I guarantee you, to somebody like Malia Hosaka, who you worked with for years and years, one of the great veterans in professional wrestling, Malia doesn't care who it is. If it's Stacy Shadows, if it's Sierra, she'll adapt.
And the one thing about Malia, and obviously we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but she is such a great veteran with so much knowledge, she would not be distracted by Idol's presence at ringside. And for Sweet Sierra, she has to be. It's almost like the size aside, it's like 1.5 against 1.
Yeah, no question about it. Sierra trying to fight out of that chin lock, and she did it. Boy, I'll tell you what a spitfire. There's that drop kick into the corner, and I'm telling you, that was major impact. Look at Sierra. She has, as you said, Ken, she has vastly improved.
And you could see
My God!
Stacy Shadows kind of dropped her head. I don't think she was expecting this kind of frontal attack.
No.
From Sweet Sierra.
None of us were.
And Sierra is very smart going after Shadows. When Shadows is laying on the mat, that negates the size and strength advantage she has.
No question. Boy, what a game plan. What a blueprint here. Sierra has. You know what? But here, cardinal mistake.
Yep.
Don't worry about the fans. They're not going to win it for you. That boot right to the jaw. And that goof in the old shower curtain from the Riviera Hotel on the outside of the ring.
And
now he's arguing with the ref.
And that's what happens with an inexperienced ref. He gets distracted by the Golden Idol, gives Stacy Shadows time to recover. So again, as I said, Sweet Sierra is going against Stacy Shadows, against the Golden Idol, and some degree against the ref.
She got her. Oh, my God. 2 7/8, Ken. How close.
Gratifying at least to see what I think was a very honest count by the referee in that.
Finally. Well, yeah, that's encouraging. The crowd is 100% behind Sweet Sierra. What a feather in her cap to walk out of this building tonight as the Steel Domain Wrestling Ladies Champion. But that's one hell of a mountain in front of her she's got to climb.
And hopefully she'll keep that out of her mind and just concentrate on getting the win. There'll be plenty of time to enjoy it afterwards.
Oh, look at this now. Shadow. Oh, God. How would, you know what? If I'm in a street fight, I want Stacy Shadows alongside me. Look at this now. Oh, my God, right on the back of her head. It's over. Just that fast.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner and still Steel Domain Wrestling Women's Champion, the baddest bitch in wrestling, Stacy Shadows.
A hard-fought matchup, to say the least. Sweet Sierra brought everything and then some, an entire arsenal against Stacy Shadows, but in the end, all it takes is one power move. A woman the size of Stacy Shadows, and Ken, that was it. Sierra was flattened.
I think it was too much size, too much strength, but I'll tell you what, Sweet Sierra has got to be very proud of the fight she put on tonight, and again, gaining more and more experience.
Look at this now. Idol's being very gingerly. Look at him. Look at this guy now. All of a sudden, he's the perfect gentleman. This guy is crapping his pants. It's a good thing he's got dark trousers on.
Either that or he's angling for that prom date you were talking about earlier.
That's a visual I don't want. Ladies and gentlemen, Ken, I got to thank you, my friend, for sitting in a couple of matches tonight. And it's amazing all the ways our paths have crossed over the past 30 years in this business. Our first opportunity to work together, It was an honor and a privilege.
And the exact same feeling from my point, Mick. You're a great friend, and anytime I get to spend time with you, it's wonderful, an honor and a privilege.
We'll do it again, buddy.